And now if you scroll down, it's going to look for a texture target. Now we don't have a texture target and we have to create that now. Okay, so now you can either click here and you can say, create a new asset, a render target. So let's do that. Instead of going back to the content browser, we can create one right now. So I can just call this, I can click on the create new asset render target and then give it the location that I want to save it in. Now I want to save it inside sprites and images because it will be consistent with the stuff that we are working on, because all the minimap assets, including your widget, is also here inside the HUD. So I'll just put it inside sprites and images. And yeah, so I'm just going to call this minimap underscore, I don't know, render target or texture. Yeah, minimap. I'll just say tx underscore minimap. Okay, so that should take care of that. So once we do that, it's automatically going to assign that to the minimap. Once I compile that and go back here, and you can see that it's actually there. It's this is a different thing right now. So if I move around, let's say I just play and I'm just moving around and I hit escape. Now it's not going to show that right now, but it's actually the moment you created it, it started updating it. Even though inside your player, when you created it here, it's still showing as black because the player is black and you're not able to see anything. But if you double click on this, you can see something. It's not very clear, but anyways, it's gonna work, trust me. So I'm gonna save this, and now what we're gonna need to do is convert this to a material, or use this in a material so that it can be rendered inside the HUD or in this minimap out here. Okay, so now the next thing we have to do is create a material, as I said. So let's go back to assets and inside materials, and this is for the character. Now I can create a new folder and I can call this generic materials. It's not related to the character or the weapons, so this is going to be generic or gameplay stuff. So I'm going to right click, create a new material, and I'll call this mat underscore minimap. Okay, so once we open that up, this is going to be the normal material editor that we have known since so long. But in order for you to make this usable inside a HUD, right now, this is going to be a material that can only be used on meshes, okay, not on sprites or images. So you have to change the material domain. So just keep an eye on the final attributes or all the attributes of this material. And when I change this from surface to user interface, it's going to throw away all the things that it does not require for a UI material. All it needs is the final color and the screen position. That's all it needs. Now for the final color, it's we'll have to send it give it a texture or something that is from a sprite or an image, right? So now of course I can say texture sample, and it brings in the texture sample. So let's connect that first. Now the texture sample out here is going to be, if I click on here and if I look at tex underscore minimap, so if I select that, and there you can see that the minimap is out there, and we have the top view of the player himself. Okay, save that. Now when I go back to my HUD, I hope I have my material selected. So that's mat underscore minimap. So I'll save this and I'll close this off. I don't need this anymore. Go back to HUD. With my minimap image selected, I'm just going to click on this little arrow as the brush, and now you can see that you have this little thing. Now I hit compile, save. Now when I play the game, I can see that we have a minimap. So now I'm running around, and all of these guys are running around too, and I'm shooting. You can also see the bullet trails, and everything is working fine. So actually I walked into, I don't know what I walked into. It's moved to point Charlie. Oh, that thing was already there. Okay. All right. So if I click on play again, and oh, that's a bug that we have. That's the point beta. Okay, that's a bug. But that's okay. But you have the minimap which is operational right now. Now all we have to work on is get that little arrow, which is always going to be indicating the direction of the movement of you as the player. Okay, let's get that done now. Okay, so getting that is actually quite simple as well. So going back to HUD, now, if you want to give it some more tints, you can. So if I click on this tint, I can actually, I don't know if I can click on this color wheel and color spectrum. I can go for something like this. If you are into something like that, it depicts something like a night vision scene or something. So if I can go for a very light greenish color out here, okay, and uh, there you go. And if I go to, I think I'm good at that. Maybe the hue can be a little bit more, or the hue can be like that, and the saturation can be a little bit more. That's okay. And this guy is who's the arrow. Now I can actually get rid of the tint. Okay, I can just say I can get rid of all of that, and also blue, get rid of that. Okay, and so this is going to be the arrow itself. Let's say the arrow, this is minimap arrow, so select that, and size to content. Okay, size to content, and just place it right over your character like that, just like that. If you want, maybe you can increase the size. Let's say it's 16 by 18, so you can just say don't size it to content. You can say 25 by 25, something like that, and or 20 by 20 is good. 20 by 20, and place it right over the character like that. Okay, and then compile it. Okay, and maybe you might want to get the camera even further up. I don't know, that's up to you. Not this minimap camera, go straight up like that, compile that, go back, play the game. Now you can see that I actually have an arrow and I'm running around with the arrow. Okay, now you may also choose not to render that thing at all. Now I can also shoot and I can see the bullet trails as well. Now that's totally up to you, but we have a functioning minimap and I can see the guy who's chasing me. He was actually chasing me, then he went away, and I can move up here, and then that's the point alpha. Okay, that's an explosion that went off, and then I can go to point Charlie, explosion went off, all objectives cleared, perfect, right? And I can even get the ammo. That explosion also went off. I can reload. Perfect. Okay, and I can also, oh, okay, all right, and there you go. Oh, that's a bug. All right, great. So that's about how to create a simple minimap, and it works just fine. Okay, and if I just take a look at that, it's the follow camera, and it's a preview skeletal mesh. It's the minimap camera. Let's see if I can just take a look at the event graph and weapon input bindings. This is turn rate, movement input, aim down sights. This is character movement, walk speed, activate aim down sights. Let's see if I click here, and oh, that's the follow camera. If I can move it here a little bit. All right, fine. I'll just move him here. So it deactivates the follow camera and activates the iron sight camera. Now, where is the iron sight camera? Iron sight camera is right here. Let's see. Where is the iron sight camera? Oh, that's right here. That also works. Now, you also have to, let's say, activate this camera at the same time. Okay, all right, let's figure that out later, but at least we got this, we got this thing done. We got the minimap done and it's looking good. So if I hit play, I can run around, I can see the minimap, I can see the explosions and everything else. Great. So that's about it, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.